And look,
we still love you the same.
you dip and dabble outside the color line.
I'd have been
one, and then categorize another. So basically, what you're doing is you put a white man above a black man. That's what you're doing.
Making him feel worse or bringing up this elephant. Yeah.
The elephant consumes the whole room. So me tiptoeing around that bitch is gonna be a lot harder than me just. You're listening to What She Said podcast with Shanae Hall.
Welcome to What She Said. I know we've been gone for a minute. It's my fault. I'll take all the blame. As y'all know, I'm in law school, and it's not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. So I had to step away from something, and this was the only thing. Unfortunately, I miss you guys so much, and I miss doing the show. But we wanted to wrap up the end of the year with kind of what we learned. The whole point of What She Said podcast is about learning and growing and becoming better people, better wives, girlfriends, and hopefully enhancing your relationship. So the next time you don't make the same mistakes, I'll just say what I learned is that we are not as sensitive to the needs of men as I thought we were. Check out this clip.
Repeat that one for the slow ones in the back. Like, yes, everything you just said. Guys go through that. That shit fucks guys up.
Yeah, and I remember.
And they come in. I've had guys crying and like all the kinds of shit, breaking down, and like you have no idea, but it fucks people up. But and that's why like it's messed up. But that's why like the defense mechanism is like, okay, she feels like it's her. Great, thank God. I'll just play it off like it's her. Like,
right.
And it's usually not.
But a lot of people, like we talked about the level of communication. I'm a communicator. So I'm like, hey, babe, things are not where they used to be. Whether there was a time period when he would, just come too quick. And you're like, but again, where our bodies are changing. We're not teenagers anymore. Mm-hmm. We're learning each other. Where things are feeling different. We're growing into each other, and you have to communicate. A lot of Black people don't communicate, and they don't go see a doctor when something is wrong. They just say, oh, this, I must have drank too much last night. Well, this shit happens and you had apple juice all day. What the fuck? Like, come on now, work with me. And then it escalates, and then not everybody is insured, not everybody's comfortable enough, all these other elements, and they don't get dealt with. And so he says, well, let me go sleep with this chick and see if my dick still do the same thing with her. Now you're destroying what you've built, trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with you, or if it's better somewhere else, instead of having the conversation and then talking to a professional about what may or may not be wrong. So that is why you're here.
So I would say start off with something supportive, right? So most women kind of bottle it up to be, it's clearly like the elephant in the room, and then it just comes out.
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
Last night, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just make it weird. Like, it should come across real supportive. Like, baby, our relationship's not based on sex. Like, that it's not even that paramount to our relationship. I love you for who you are. And if we never have sex again, that's fine. But I would like us to have a sexual relationship, a healthy sexual relationship, if that's what we're able to do. If not, it's fine. But maybe we do like talk to somebody about it. Maybe we try some pills and make it like you're encouraging, but not making him feel worse or bringing up this elephant in the room. Yeah.
The elephant consumes the whole room. So me tiptoeing around that bitch is gonna be a lot harder than me just.
But okay.
So give me
is your relationship based on that elephant, or is your relationship based on you and if there's any relationship that's based on sex, it should go away and die right now.
Interviewing Joel, Dr. Abbott, really helped me understand that one, there's a sensitivity level that I have to have, and two, it reminded me of how much pressure men are under every time they go into a sexual encounter. We don't think about that as women, because worst case scenario, you spit on the shit and we keep it moving.
Goodness.
But I'm just saying, with a man, that's not an option. And if his mind is somewhere else, if whatever that circumstance is taking him out of the game, or it's age, or it's liquor, or it's smoking weed, or whatever that thing is, or it's, you know, a medical condition. So for me, when I interviewed Joel, which was extremely funny, and I hope you go back and catch, I think that's episode 3, that was an eye-opener. So on to our next one. Now, this is the best line. This is not something we learned, but me and my mom agreed. This was the best line of 2021 from any man that came on our show. Check this out.
That would remove her from being what you would consider an applicant or somebody you would consider.
Oh yeah, see, I don't do that. I don't alienate and say, nah, you don't qualify or this or that. I'm attracted to who I'm attracted to. Okay, and I've dated women of all different shades of black, because I love black women. Let's just say that. I'm gonna start with it. You gotta be black.
Okay, well that's good. Now we're getting somewhere.
We can start there. You gotta be black. That's my preference.
Amen. Let the church say amen.
Me, myself, and I. You know, that's my preference. I can't speak for nobody else. Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna cut all that other stuff out and get right to that. She need to be black. All right, great.
Okay.
You know, my mom is in love with you right now.
Well, you
I ain't
win.
gonna lie.
You earn a whole bunch of points. But anyway, carry on. Oh,
yeah,
no
that's.
Oh, no offense to you, Josh.
And look.
We still love you the same.
You dip and dabble outside the color line.
I'd have been across the globe.
Yeah, a former NBA player. Of course,
I get it. Look, I've been across the globe too, but I found a black woman in every
high
on
five,
every part of the
dap over
every
here.
part of the globe. I found a black woman of you know.
Raise the roof on that one.
What do you say? She has to be black. That was all that needed to be said. That was all that needed to be said. But with that being said, I'm going to transition that into a conversation that we had with T.I. that didn't make the cut for whatever reason. I think we were already at our max time, but I went back and watched the interview, and he and I got into the conversation about black men dating white women and black women dating white men and how society or how black women view it. But don't let me tell you. Check out this clip and you let me know what you think.
It's celebrated. And I have tons of these double standards if you just want me to rattle off a couple.
Rattle off a couple.
All right. Let's talk.
Right, enlighten me.
Let's talk about. I think was it Michael B. Jordan, who said he liked white girls.
Yeah. Well, he was on that boat with the white girl, and everybody accused him.
Boat with a white girl. Whatever. All right, cool. Frowned upon. Mm-hmm. How could you turn your back on the sisters?
How could you?
However, it's a young lady by the name of Cassie. Mm-hmm. She left Diddy and got with a white boy by the name of Alex. And they had a baby, and it's like, oh, she found her king, and this is live your best life. You can't use that.
That's a horrible example.
How is it a horrible example?
How is it a horrible example? Never really committed to nobody.
Listen,
he was
first
all over the place with all sorts of folks.
First of all, you don't know what their agreement was.
See, but there's an agreement that she didn't agree to. That's why she left.
We don't know. No. You can't say that without knowing what the agreement was.
Well, I think she just got tired of the agreement.
We can't speculate.
Okay.
I don't want to get into it. Let's go with what we know. This is what we know. We know. We know she left and went to a white man, and everything was all right in the public. Mm-hmm. How about this? How about this, right? A man is frowned upon for saying, oh, I don't want no dark-skinned girl. Mm-hmm. Or I don't want no chunky girl. Mm-hmm. I don't want no, whatever it is.
Whatever his preference is, correct.
Frowned upon for that. Mm-hmm. But a woman could say all day, I don't want no short man. Mm-hmm. I don't want no light-skinned man. Mm-hmm. I don't want no broke man.
Oh, hell no.
You see what I'm saying? Women can say that all day long. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. But when men do it, it's frowned upon. So whenever people point out the double standards that exist on one side, always.
On both sides.
Exactly. So whenever we are experiencing the double standards, when the pendulum swings in our favor, Let's just accept that, just like we accept it when the pendulum swings.
Okay, well let me just, but hold on,
I ain't never spoke on none of it. Like, how do we know she upgraded? When you say she upgraded,
from no.
First of all, you gotta categorize one, and then categorize another. So basically, what you're doing is you're putting a white man above a black man. That's what you're doing.
I'm saying
that basically because when you say,
how you gonna say
yes,
that? I said she got a ring. She went from a girlfriend to a wife. She got upgraded. I'm talking about Serena. I'm talking about even Halle Berry. Dated several black men, and then she got married and had a baby. And I'm saying, if you get a ring, I'm saying that in upgrade form. You got a ring out of it, right?
Who upgraded though?
Which one? I think if you get married,
I think the white man upgraded. To me,
okay,
the white man is the one who upgraded.
He did.
Okay.
So they can't both upgrade.
I don't know. No, I'm not talking about race.
Neither one of you guys are talking about race.
No, I'm not talking about
ring.
race.
You're talking about the ring, yeah.
She's talking about the relationship.
Right.
She's talking about the relationship. All I'm telling you is, in order to enforce that or support that theory, you have to categorize the first man and the next man.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to categorize either. I think it's just fair to say it didn't work here and it did work there.
Then why you say Cassie went on ahead and married a white man? We was happy for her.
I didn't say married because I don't know if they married.
Okay.
She had a baby.
She had a baby.
That's marriage.
Wrong.
That's 18 years. We locked in for 18 years.
I done did that bid.
What I learned from that episode and that little clip is that black men actually feel a certain kind of way about black women dating outside our race. Although they are more prone to date white women than black women are. Just for statistical purposes, because I'm good at that kind of thing. Black women are the least likely of any race on the planet to date and marry outside of our race. So when you hear black women say, girl, yeah, you found your king, because like I said in the video, she dated Diddy for I don't know how long, right? No ring, no aisle. Might have got some treats or some trinkets, but that's not normally our goal when we're dating somebody, especially not for an extended period of time. We're looking for the ring, the commitment, the relationship, the marriage. We're looking for that. And she turns around, starts dating somebody outside of race, gets the ring, gets the marriage, gets the baby, gets the whole nine. That's what we're going for. And that's why we brought up Serena. So I don't know. Mom?
I don't know. I don't know what it is about black men and proposing. I don't know if social media and dating sites have changed the game. I don't know what it is, but it does appear that our odds are better if we date outside of our race in terms of getting proposed to, getting the ring, getting the commitment. And I hope in 2022 that changes.
Bye, Felicia. Anyways, so then we had a conversation with, before I even go into this final segment of things that I learned while on this 2021 quest, starting the podcast and really trying to figure out what it is that men need, what it is that they want, I started to really start to research and study, and I read Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. That's her name.
Dr. Brené Brown.
I also found this guy online, and I sent the clip to my mom. And what he talked about was vulnerability and how men that don't want to be vulnerable and they keep their walls up to keep people out, even though they have a wound that's saying, I want to be loved, I want to be nurtured, but I'm afraid. So I'm going to do this to get the attention. Well, again, let me not tell you what he said. Let me show you what he said.
If I can get sarcastic, or if I can give you a little jab, then I get attention, but I get it in a way that feels safe because my wall is still up. The problem is it doesn't help me with my wound, because it doesn't help you get closer to me, which might help heal me. It doesn't help you know me better. And you'll spend so much time trying to defend from my weapon that you can't ever actually step in and help heal my wound. That's not the same thing as vulnerability. Vulnerability is I'm insecure about this. I'm just making you aware. Ownership is the next 10 times I feel it today, I know you're already aware, so I don't need to tell you every time I feel it. that I have to do the work myself. That's where ownership comes in. So both ownership and vulnerability have to dance together.
And I know that is true. Like, you start trying to love someone through their brokenness to the point that you almost break yourself. And that's such a huge thing when you're dating and getting involved. It's like, how much of me do I want to give to you to heal you? Because it's like anything else. If I just keep giving and giving and giving, and I'm not getting it back, you're emptying out my cup. And the reality of it is, I'm not even filling yours because you got so many fucking holes in it that everything I give to you is just being drained out. And so I'm losing me to help you or to love you, and you can't even love yourself. And so those holes in that love, it just drains. And then one day you wake up and you're like, I'm exhausted. Like, I'm just exhausted. I can't fight anymore. I can't argue anymore. I can't send you another scripture, another love song, another note, another email, another text message. And at that point, so for me, what I learned watching that clip is, until somebody is willing to expose their wound to you and say, look I'm open to you healing me. You can't help nobody that don't want to help themselves.
And you can't really heal them either. They have to say that they're ready to be healed, to do the work. And that obviously, it goes both ways. I mean, you've heard men say plenty of times that she was broken, or she had trust issues, or she had this, or she had that. And I tried and I just couldn't save her. Mm-hmm. We can't save grown-ups. They have to want to be saved, and then we could be there for the journey on healing, but we can't save each other in the midst of our mess.
That was another extremely profound thing that I learned this year, even though he wasn't a guest on my show, unfortunately on our show, but maybe next year. And the final clip for 2021, actually, we're going to do this in two parts because we had Said on, we had so many other men that came and brought us an extreme amount of laughter, joy, good times. But for this episode, we have to finish it off with Marvin Sapp.
And I want to stay away from the scripture stuff, but Galatians 6 and 7 is a scripture that applies to every phase of life. It says, be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. And the two most important words in that passage of scripture is whatsoever and that. Because whatever you sow, that is what you're going to reap. So I think that when it comes to relationships, people need to pay attention to the types of things that they sow, because you're going to reap it. And you never reap at the same level you sow it. You always reap more than what you sow. For example, you plant an apple seed, you get an apple tree. From that apple tree, you get multiple apples with multiple seeds. So, when you make decisions to do certain things, and note, if you will, it does not say, be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever a saint sows, that shall he also reap. Or whatever a believer sows, that shall he also reap. Whatever you sow, believer, unbeliever, whoever, you're going to reap that. So you need to take in consideration when you're making these decisions, as it pertains to how you treat other people, how you expect to get it back in return, because it's coming back.
Mom?
I think Marvin, obviously, of all the guests, he's been married. He was married for so long. He just seems to bring that stability, that I know what I'm doing type of thing to the conversation as a grown man. He talks about protecting and providing and just being that guy, that head of the household. And so he left us obviously with a whole different take, which you don't hear very much these days with all our fast-paced dating and swiping left and swiping right situations. He's the stable factor in all the conversations where you want a grown man like that. You want that type of husband in your life.
So what did you learn from that episode?
I just think he's, I don't know if it's because of his spiritual background, his religious background, or what it is, but I just feel like men who have been married bring something different to the table. They know how to be unselfish. They know how to share. They know what their role is. Whereas men who've never been married, who don't have that experience living with someone and being head of a household, they don't bring the same energy to a relationship. And maybe they can at some point, but that's not been my experience.
You know what I'm saying? Like, marriage is a full-time job. You come home to this person every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You are demanded, required to come to the table with certain tools. And if not, she's going to tell you, you need to go to Home Depot and get this tool, this tool, this tool. Maybe not Home Depot, but wherever she sends you to get those skills. And then you have to learn to use that skill, right? So in Marvin's case, he was married for 20 years or something.
I think 18 years. It was truly till death do you part.
Right. When his wife passed of cancer. And he said, I know how to be a better husband than I do a boyfriend, but you've been trained to be a husband. There's certain things that you can do as a boyfriend that you can't do as a husband. And there's certain things that you can do as a girlfriend you can't do as a wife. So for me, when I'm dating, I'm actually looking for those skills in the man that's going to be in my life.
Yeah.
Because
the experience.
I understand, like, it's a real thing. Like, and if you've never been pushed to the point of breaking and having to say, well, I need to go talk to a counselor. I need to go talk to my mama. I need to go get some help because this person is pushing me to become my best self. Then you don't have all the tools that you need to really come into the relationship a lot of the times. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, and I think it's also just learning how to share a space. Like, you're sharing the same space, the same house with someone day in and day out. All of that comes through marriage or living with somebody. So he leaves that kind of impression that I got to have somebody in my life who has been married or at least has lived with someone for a long time so they know what it means to share. Absolutely. On every level.
And again, if you're not for the formality of actually marriage, you have to have that experience. And I'm not talking about, I was in a 6-year, 9-year, 12-year relationship, but you never live with the person. Or you live with the person for 6 months and you're like, but you gotta go. That's not really putting the iron on the fire where it just becomes that red seething hot, where you like, God damn, I'm either gonna break or I'm going to form into this amazing man that she's looking for. You know, pressure breaks pipes and makes diamonds. You never know which one you are until you're actually under pressure. Thank you for joining us on this episode of What She Said. Again, we have part 2 coming up next because there were so many guests that transformed me personally.
We're providing a solution to all that and saying everybody's going to be together. Everybody's going to work together. These kids is going to have a mom, a dad. They're going to have whatever you want to call the other mom. You know what I'm saying? But it's all going to be there.
Y'all going to live in the same community. Y'all going to all support each other. Like, walk down the street. When somebody don't have babies, you get your child care.
But it could go there, but like that, even child care. You know how much child care costs an arm and a leg?
It's super expensive.
Then good help is hard to find because I know me since I started having kids, I'm like, I don't know if I'm sending my kids with these people. You know what I mean? But if there's another woman around, well, she can keep the kids this night. You see, it's really a community at the core. You know what I mean? That's being built.
And I mean, to be honest with you, it makes sense. Like what you're saying, it makes sense. Like when we're sitting at the little spot. Well, as soon as the cameras go off, right now,
it makes sense though.
It's logically, it makes sense. Like we were sitting in here, and he looked around the room. He said, "Sinead, look at everybody that's sitting in here," and it was like 10 single women, like 10 groups of women, and he was like, it was just him and Marcus.
And we was like the only dudes?
Yeah, and I think 2 other dudes.
There's more women out here.
Yeah, and he was like, so if we were to basically come together and allow everybody to have a husband in some way, shape, or form, then it would be a community thing and we would be stronger. And it makes sense. It makes sense.
Until what?
Until the time it makes sense. Until it's time for you to leave the house. And I'm like, so, babe, what I was saying is, them bitches need to find somebody. It's rough out there.
You know, she ain't got no motion. You know, this nigga ain't got no stroke. You know, y'all just kiss you all hard. Niggas slobbing and shit. You like, man, it's just, you know, the motherfucker, you know, you look up, it's nigga got hips. You like, this nigga got hips. Nigga, this is throwing you off. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't. You like, this nigga come out the bathroom with hips, nigga. Hold on, nigga. That's a lot, you know. And you got, you know,
Dad, you the dumbest nigga in the world. You just say this nigga got hips. I'm not fucking talking to you no more after this. This shit is over.
I'm just saying the shit that girls gotta go through too. I could imagine, right? Like, you know,